Sheriff Paul Babeu says that, well, that's fine on paper, but the devil is in the details, because you never know some of the devils you might be taking in. Sheriff, you know a thing or two about borders and how people can take advantage of those borders, and you know what's going on abroad, and you know what the Pope has been saying on this subject. What do you think? Are you guys at cross purposes, you and the Pope?
No, I actually am a big fan of the Pope, and America is actually the shining example of compassion and still the beacon of hope and freedom, welcoming immigrants. Last year alone, we took over 1 million legal immigrants. And so we have a strong record here in the United States. The problem is the illegal immigrants. And oftentimes it gets conflated over the compassion and the war-torn areas like you're talked about earlier in Syria, and the truth bears out the facts that it's only 1 in 5 are from these war-torn countries, and that you have people from all over the world, not just Africa and places like Iraq, Afghanistan. Heck, you've got 20,000 Albanians trying to get in, and they're at peace. So people from all over the world may be hurting, but America sets the example for lawful immigration, and that's what we all want and support, is support the rule of law, follow the laws we have on the books.
All right, so when the administration talks about upping our commitment to 100,000 refugees from 70,000, doesn't delineate who those extra numbers would be, I think it's fair to assume that it would be among this bunch that we thought were all Syrians. They're not all Syrians. But as a guy who has to track records of people, Sheriff, how do you do that? How do you do that?
It's not done well, I can tell you that, and this is where this administration, President Obama, has released serious, dangerous criminals into our streets. Last year, we accepted 137,000 asylum seekers and refugees just from Central America. So these numbers are putting out 70, 80,000. The doors have been blown off those numbers already in the past, just from people on the Western Hemisphere. So forget trying to take refugees and asylum seekers from all over the world, because these numbers mean nothing. They're just talking points for the president.
You know, I know you're not an I told you so sort of guy, Sheriff, but I was thinking of you and the criticism that your office was getting from all the way from the likes of France and these other socialist countries out in Europe, so that we were showing a sort of a dismissive slap on the back to some of these who wanted the safety of our shores, yet facing the same problem on actually technically a smaller scale than you. They're loath to take these folks in. What do you think of that?
Well, here again, they're first to criticize America and our history of generosity and for fighting not just for our freedoms and liberties, but for theirs. And now here, they have all these people at their doorsteps because of economic reasons, as well as some war-torn areas, and they're putting up fences. They're saying, no, you're not coming in. And so a little hypocrisy here, and America continues to be truly the example for lawful immigration.
All right, Sheriff, very good seeing you again. Thank you very much. All right, we've been